2 more days and counting until the draft. I don't count the day because we're counting 2. 2 more days till the draft. Let's go. What is up, Finn fans, especially you, John? I bet you if one of your guys, I know one of your guys' name's probably John. I just blew your mind. But what is up, Finn fans? You can tell by the title. This is my final mock draft until the draft this Thursday, 8 p.m. I will be live a half hour early. We'll chat it up before the draft starts, and then it'll probably actually won't start. First pick won't happen probably until about 8:30. We're going to be up forever. We're going to be up all night. That's just what it is. But if you can tell by the title, this is my last mock draft. And also, I'm going to talk about a few other things before I get into my last and final mock draft. First thing I'm going to talk about is the Miami Dolphins waived a few players on Saturday. Those players are linebacker Jake Carlock, linebacker Jamal Davis II, wide receiver Andy Jones, cornerback Lyndon Stevens, defensive tackle Gerald Willis, which that was a little surprising to me, and wide receiver Terry Wright. Now, like I said to you guys in another one of my videos, they needed to clean up some roster space, because with the moves that are being made and with drafting, it's not going to be 14 picks, but to draft as many picks as they're probably going to do, which is probably about 9 or 10. And then also bringing in some undrafted free agents, they need to clear up some room. So by letting go of these guys, they have about, I think, 18 spots available for the draft picks. So which would probably be, like I said, 10, give or take, however many of the undrafted free agents they bring in. Now, the other thing I want to talk about, and everyone's making a big hoopla about this, and I just want to address it, talk about it, and give you guys something fun to do before the draft happens, and that is Tua Tagovailoa's, and yes, that's how you pronounce it. Again, I looked it up. His Wonderlic score. People are really making a big deal about this man's Wonderlic score. Now, it ain't Vince Young, which I think he scored an 8, which is the lowest ever in quarterback history. It came out that he scored a 13. Everyone lost their marbles. 13? That's one of the lowest. Oh my God, this guy is probably dumb as rocks, right? Then it came out that that wasn't true. That's not his score. His score was actually 19. I also find it funny that these scores are being put out. So you might be asking yourself, what the heck is a Wonderlic test? What is this? Now, essentially, every NFL player takes it. If you go and you just Google Wonderlic scores throughout the years, throughout history, you can see cornerbacks, offensive linemen, defensive. They test everyone, and it is a very broad, vague testing style, SAT style. It's 50 questions. You get 12 minutes, and it's vague. It's very vague. I actually took it to see what my Wonderlic score would be. I will tell you what it is after I'm done with my spiel, but I took it. I'm going to give you guys a practice test that you guys can take. I want you to take it. I want you to comment it below. Do not cheat. Do not retest. Do not redo it. First shot, take it. I want you to comment below what score you got. But this is what it says the Wonderlic is. The Wonderlic or Wonderlic Personal Test, revised, whatever, is a test used by companies to gauge the intelligence of prospective employees. The test is sometimes administered in 2 formats, a 38-minute or a 50-12-minute. 50-12-minute is what the NFL does. Taking an employee's location, candidates can prepare for the exam by taking Wonderlic practice tests. That's what I took. Employees will have different requirements as far as scoring, but a score of 20 is meant to indicate an average intelligence corresponding to an IQ of 100. The Wonderlic has gained notoriety recently because of its use in evaluating NFL talent, especially quarterbacks. Tua got a 19. Tua got a 19, right? And I'll tell you what I got after I'm done talking about this. Now, people are saying he's stupid. I can't believe he got a 19, which is one below the average, right? I will say this, as taking the practice test, it gets real redundant at some point. At some point, you really just want to end the test. Has nothing to do with your football knowledge, has nothing to do with the ability to read a defense, has nothing to do with how you're going to throw passes, if you can tell if a cornerback's blitzing, if you can look past, look off a safety, has nothing to do with any of that. When you guys take the practice test, you'll see the fact that he got a 19 on it means nothing. It means nothing. Everyone's making a big deal out of Nothing. And this has nothing to do with me liking Tua as a quarterback. Again, you guys know how I feel about Tua. The injury scares the crap out of me. I don't think I'd take him at 5, but I do like him as a quarterback when it comes to his arm and in between his ears. And then you're like, well, Wonderlic, he got 19 on Wonderlic. What do you mean between his ears? It means nothing. Take the practice test. I'll tell you what I got. So, Vin, I'm going to give you some names of some well-known quarterbacks. Some of these guys, you'll be like, oh, blah, blah, blah. Vinny Testaverde got a 17. Some of you guys might think, well, he sucks. He doesn't. He played in the league for a very long time, and he's a pretty decent quarterback. Randall Cunningham got a 15. Jim Kelly got a 15. Steve McNair got a 15. Dan Marino got a 16. Now, you might be saying to yourself, well, what does that say? You know, how many Super Bowl wins do you have out of those quarterbacks? Those are 2 Hall of Famers. Randall Cunningham should be a Hall of Famer. Vinny Testaverde played for decades. And Steve McNair is one of the greats. Yeah, is he top 10? No, but if you think Steve McNair is a bad quarterback, I can't help you. So those are guys that got lower than Tua. And then you're thinking to yourself, well, look at the quarterbacks who did great. Yes, you know, you look at Eli Manning. You look at some of these quarterbacks that, yes, they got in the 30s. They got, you know, a pretty decent score. These are the highest ones. These are like the top 5 highest ones, right? Ryan Fitzpatrick, man went to Harvard. Greg McElroy, do you know who he is? When was the last time he played? Who did he play for? Comment it below without looking it up. Do you know who he is? Blaine Gabbert got a 42. You think Blaine Gabbert is a really good quarterback? Drew Henson got a 42. Do you think he's a really good quarterback? Jason Moss got a 43. Do you know who Jason Moss is? He never made it in the NFL. He tried out for the Baltimore Ravens in 1999 and did nothing. He couldn't make the team. He went to do other things, and now he's coaching for a Canadian football team. These are the top. Besides Ryan Fitzpatrick, who's still doing really well with the Dolphins. And again, like I said, you have other guys who have had, 30s and stuff like that, who are really good Hall of Famers. But you also have guys that got around Tua who end up being really good Hall of Famers. To go off of the Wonderlic and say this kid is dumb and he can't do anything off of the Wonderlic, it's a bad assessment, and it's just something you shouldn't go off of. Now, you guys are probably wondering, and you probably aren't, what did I get on my Wonderlic? I took it. I took the 50-question, 12-minute quiz, and I got a 41. Tip of the cap to that one. I got a 41. I'm really interested to see what you say. Do not cheat. I didn't cheat. I sat here for 12 minutes, took this thing. And like I said, at some point, you're just like, this has nothing to do. Like, what? But yes, I got a 41. Could be a pretty good quarterback, can I, with a 41? So let's jump into my mock draft. So this mock draft, I'm going to try my best to tell you guys who I want in certain areas. Once it gets to the later rounds, once it gets to like after 5, like 6, like even around 5, I'm going to talk to you more, tell you guys. I'm not going to be specific about players I want in those later rounds, but more of this is just to give you an idea of what I'm thinking at each pick, what I would like at each pick, and we'll see how the draft falls. Now, I'm using Draft Network because the other one is just, it's so filled with ads that I can't deal with it. I really can't. So like I said, I'll do 7 rounds. We'll do fast. We'll do manual. We'll do predictive board. Essentially, that means that they're going to pick. And we're jumping right into this. In this mock draft, again, we're going to talk. I'm going to go off of what is happening. In this mock draft, they had Joe Burrow going 1, Chase Young 2, Jeff Okudah 3, and then they had Kayvon Chason going to the Giants. Me personally, I think that's a really big reach at 4, but hey, we saw that last year with the Raiders going real big with their pick. We even saw that with the Giants again, taking Daniels. Now, for me here, right, I honestly am hearing a lot of things, and I honestly am starting to feel that Tua might start sliding. That's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing Tua might start sliding because the fact that no one has been able to get another physical on him, get another injury update on him, and see, is he okay
and how's the hip healing? How's everything healing? So I think that hesitation, he's going to start to slide. Will a team like the Chargers pull the trigger on him? Yes, right? I'm in the mindset of at 5, Isaiah Simmons is sitting there, right? Do we need Isaiah Simmons? Isaiah Simmons is a linebacker, or would we go offensive tackle? Now, like I said, me personally, here, if the Dolphins take Tua, I'm fine. I'm not mad. I'm not upset. I'm good. And I'd be like, yes, we got him. We got Tua. Let's see what he can do. Let's see if he could stay healthy. If the Dolphins take Tristan Wirfs here or Mekhi Becton here, I'm like, yes, okay, cool. Let's go. Let's see what they can do here. Let's move forward. I'm very excited. If they take like a CJ Henderson, if they take a Henry Ruggs, I'm like, why? That's where I'm like, you'll get my reaction. So you can see where I'm coming from. Now, me personally, with this, I think that hopefully Tua starts to slide. And that's what I'm hearing, that people are very uneasy about his injuries. So I'm going to take my top tackle here, who's Mekhi Becton. I like him a lot. Now, they have Tua going 6 to the Chargers. That is a very big possibility that Tua can go 6 to the Chargers, that he can fall or he could fall. We don't know. And like I said, Wednesday, you're going to get my draft strategy that I think the Dolphins are going to do from what I'm hearing, what I'm reading, what I'm getting off of Chris Greer's interview. Now we're sitting at 18. We have CeeDee Lamb, Jerry Jeudy, Javon Kinlaw, who's a very good interior defensive lineman. Got Justin Herbert on there. We got the top running backs in DeAndre Swift, J.K. Dobbins. I already got my offensive tackle. And we're sitting here, and you think I could go quarterback. You know, you have Justin Herbert ranked 4th, and I'm sitting here at 18. I could pull the trigger on a quarterback here. Now, we talked about this in the collab I did with K Flexon, TD Finstock, and Great One. Hopefully, you guys went and checked them out and hit their subscribe buttons. Me, personally, I think the Dolphins' biggest needs, I do think quarterback is the biggest need. I'm never settling on quarterback. We haven't had an all-star elite quarterback since Dan Marino, 20-something years. It needs to happen, right? Offensive line was also a very big point. I addressed my left tackle. A lot of people don't like Mekhi Becton. A lot of people think that he won't survive there. I like his speed. I like his power. I like the bigness of him. I think if he gets his weight under control, he's going to be a stud at left tackle. Here, I'm okay again. So let's say the Dolphins take Mekhi Becton. Boom. We got our tackle. I'm very pumped. Again, if the Dolphins take Tua, boom, I'm very excited. We got our quarterback. If the Dolphins take Justin Herbert at 5, I'm like, I'm not as hyped because I don't like his personality. I don't like how he's very introvert. Because in the NFL, if you don't make it, if you don't succeed, if you don't show signs of progression, the NFL will eat you up. Especially if you don't have that alpha male attitude like Ryan Fitzpatrick, right? So if they took Justin Herbert at 5, I'd be like, all right, well, we'll see. Again, I'll talk more about that Wednesday in the video. So sitting here, I told you guys I'm going to be talking a lot in this one because I'm going to give you guys my thoughts and everything on each pick. Sitting here, I'm going to take Justin Herbert. Just because he's 4th, I like the power of his arm. I like the power of his arm. I think a lot of the things that are his downfall can be taught to make him better. So that's why I made that move there. Now, I don't think any of these running backs are going to make it into the second round. I think that, let me see what's going on safety-wise, because you guys know how I feel about safety. Tell me they took my guy. They took Grant Delpit, who you guys know I like as safety, is gone. He went number 17. And Xavier McKinney went 10. That is very surprising with this board. I might have to do another draft and see how that goes. But here I'm going to take DeAndre Swift. I'm starting to like him. I know that there's the fumble issues with Taylor, and I'm also I like Taylor. He's one of my top running backs. I think that the wear and tear on him is going to start becoming an issue. So that's why I went with DeAndre Swift. Here, I'm going safety. I'm going to go Antonio Winfield Jr. I wanted Grant Delpit, but my top three, he was one of my top three, so I'm okay with that pick. Now, we got our second round pick. And so I don't think any interior guys. Matt Hennessy's still there, who I said is a very smart interior offensive lineman. I could probably get him later. But if you look at what I did, right? Offensive line, quarterback, running back, safety. I told you guys that if the Dolphins can address those interior offensive linemen and probably like a big nose tackle, I don't care what they do with the rest of the draft. I need to address those other two, and then I'm kind of happy with the way the rest of the draft is going. So that being said, I'm sitting here at pick 56. I see Raekwon Davis, interior defensive lineman of Alabama. I'm actually going to be pulling the trigger on that one. That's one of the top 6. I want that guy on first and second down to be in the middle, stopping that run. Yes, we have Christian Wilkins. We have Jenkins. We have Gachow. We brought in Agba. We brought in Lawrence. Those are the speedy guys that are going to get after the quarterback. I want that big guy. I want a big guy in the middle that's going to do his thing like a chicken wing. Interior offensive lineman here. Say I waited too long, and all of a sudden, my interior offensive linemen were gone. Where did Matt Hennessy went 59 to the Seattle Seahawks? So sitting here in round 3, I'm actually, you know what? I'm going to take another tackle. I'm going to take Lucas Niang from TCU. He could play right tackle, and that's where I'd put him. And then I would take Jesse Davis, put him in at right guard. Kind of answers. So right now, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm liking where I'm sitting right now. I addressed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of my needs. And if the Dolphins do this, say they switch things up, right? And, the draft falls different, which I expect the draft to fall different. The way this draft fell kind of threw me for a loop completely, especially with Delpit going 17 and McKinney going 10 to the Browns. That completely threw me for a loop. But say it goes different, right? They get an offensive lineman, they get a quarterback. Say Tua does fall to 18. Like I said, I'm hearing that a lot of people are feeling uneasy about the fact not being able to give his physical. They might start taking him off the board. He might start falling a la Aaron Rodgers. The Dolphins get him at 18, right? So it's Mekhi Becton, Tua here. Say they do get Delpit here, they get a safety here, then all of a sudden they do get their running back they want here, change it up, or they get a center here. You know what I'm saying? So long as they address the needs that I think the Dolphins have, I'd be very happy. I'd be very happy. So we're at our pick in round 4. So like I said, they addressed a lot of the needs that I like. So at this point, it's more of what's the best available and what else do I think they should address. So sitting here at 4, I'm actually going to take Davis, the wide receiver from Texas A&M, have him come in, compete to be that slot receiver. Now, I know a lot of you guys are saying we have Albert Wilson, we have Jakeem Grant. Those guys technically aren't slot receivers, especially Jakeem Grant. He's more a flanker outside guy. So actually here, I'm going to take a wide receiver, and that's going to fill our slot position. Now we're into round 5. We got 2 back-to-backs. Now, again, at this point, it's a lot of just look at the top guys, look at your board as the Miami Dolphins, look at your board as fans, and just take the top players available. Now, A.J. Dillon is sitting here, right? I'm going to do this just because I have back-to-back picks, and I want to have that competition. Why not? I'm hearing great things about A.J. Dillon. I'm really liking the way he plays. I'm really liking what I'm seeing from him. I'm going to take a running back here. Because, look, I'm on the board again. I'm going to take another running back. I'm not going to take another running back. I promise. I'm not going to take another running back. So here I'm stuck because I would like to add another tight end. And looking at this tight end here, Harrison Bryant from Florida Atlantic. He's a very athletic, speedy wide receiver, but when it comes to blocking, when it comes to inline blocking, he struggles. He struggles with that strength issue. It's kind of like Ezekiel over again, and I would prefer to add another tight end that doesn't have that. And some of the top tight ends are long gone. So here I would probably at this point take, like I said, I'm looking at top available here. And here I'm actually going to take, I'm reaching a little bit here, about 10 spots, but I'm going to take Michael Onwenu from Michigan into your offensive lineman. He's a big physical guy. He is a little bit slow. So when it comes to swing plays and screen plays, I don't know if he'll be there for those. But I like him. I like that big physical guy in the center. And he's depth. At this point, a lot of this is just depth for what the Dolphins are going to be doing. Like I said, my first 5 or 6 picks were more of addressing the needs. And then once we got to pick 141, it was more just, all right, depth. Look at who's your top on the board and go depth there. And I'm noticing, like I'm looking around and I'm noticing a lot of these tight ends I'm starting to look at because, like I said, I'd like to add a tight end. Colby Parkinson from Stanford. His biggest problem is inline blocking, and I'm not about to put another Gesicki on here who takes a hot minute to get some inline blocking. I am looking at cornerback here. I'm going to pull the trigger. I'm going to take Jarvis Davis here. You know, he has some tackling issues, but again, this is depth. This is a 5th round, 3 5th-round picks. So we're sitting here. I'm going to take Kalal Davis, Nebraska. He's a smaller guy. He's not that big. Doesn't have a lot of like oomph to him. But again, this is depth. A lot of this is depth. We're about to go through 6 all the way into 7. Okay, so I didn't bore you with the last few picks. I will talk about it and I will go into why I picked them. But again, 7th round, 6th round. I don't see the Dolphins having a lot of those picks. I could see them trading them out. So it was more just I'm looking at the players. I'm looking at the position where I think we need depth. But looking at the top 6, 7 picks I made, right? I talked about it. At 5, I'm okay, and I'm down with them taking a quarterback, taking an offensive lineman, taking Isaiah Simmons. I'm very open, right? I'll talk about this more Wednesday when I talk about the draft strategies and what I could see the Miami Dolphins doing and all that stuff. But I'm very open to what they could do with number 5 and what they will do with number 5. So like I said, if they take Tua, I'm nervous because of his injury, but I'm like, all right, you know, they trust the process. If they take an offensive lineman, if they take Mekhi Becton, if they take Jedrick Wills, if they take, Andrew Thomas, I'm cool. It's where they start to reach, or if they take a wide receiver. I don't think they need a wide receiver, number 1. Justin Herbert makes me a little apprehensive at 5, like I said, because of the personality trait and because of the accuracy issues. So it's like, that's where I'm like, all right, well, let's see how they do with the rest of the first round. But the fact that they got 3 first-round picks, I'm okay with whatever they think they would do at 5. But again, I'm a little apprehensive. So I took Mekhi Becton at 5. I thought, and I also think that Tua might start to slip a little bit. Will he get past the Chargers? Will he get past the Raiders? I don't know. I don't know if he'll make it down to 18 to the Dolphins. Maybe a team might trade up in front of the Dolphins if Tua starts to slide. If he pulls an Aaron Rodgers, all of a sudden people are worried about that hip injury and he starts to slide. But I took Mekhi Becton at 5. I like Mekhi Becton. I like his speed, his size, his strength, all that stuff. He does have a weight issue that he needs to watch. It does fluctuate, but if he can work on that, I think he could be one of the best left tackles in the league. Justin Herbert fell to the Dolphins at 18. I'm okay with them doing it at 18. You get that top talent at 5. I'm okay with you doing it at 18. I'm okay with Tua at 18. I'm okay with it at 18 again. Then 26, I noticed that DeAndre Swift, J.K. Dobbins aren't going to be there in the second round, and that's why I took DeAndre Swift at 26. Would I have liked to wait for them to wait till the second round to take a running back? Yes. It all depends on how the draft starts to go. A lot of you guys ask me, hey, Doug, what are how do you see this panning out? How do you see, would you trade up for this, or would you do this, or would you do that? It's hard to say because it all depends on how there's runs. All of a sudden, offensive tackles will start running. Teams will get scared. They'll start picking tackles. Oh, crap. They're not going to make it to me. I'm going to take it. I need to trade up. I need to do this. So it all depends how it runs. So I wouldn't want DeAndre Swift. I would hope to get him first pick in the second round, but I thought, honestly, that they were going to be gone by that time, so I pulled the trigger. I got Antonio Winfield Jr. at 39. I wanted Grant Delpit. I like Grant Delpit. Some of you guys don't. Me personally, I like him. I like him in the back. Take Bobby McCain, put him back at slot corner. He can be that safety back there that can roam the field. He went 17 to the Cowboys. McKinney went 10 to the Browns. I don't know if they're going to go that early. I can't really predict it, but if that does happen, then all of a sudden I'm like, well, I'll do this. I took Raekwon Davis, interior defensive lineman, that big nose tackle at 56. Again, you got Christian Wilkins, you got Godchow. Those guys are those disruptive guys. I want that big guy who's going to stop the run and going to help these two guys out. You need help on the defensive line, because if you don't get help, if you only need to put a hat on a hat, people start getting double teamed. So I took him, and then I took Lucas Niang, offensive tackle, TCU. Put him at right tackle. You got Mekhi Becton at left tackle. Take Jesse Davis, put him at right guard. You got Eric Flowers at left guard. You got Ted Karras at center. There's your Dolphins offensive line for 2020. And then, like I said, after those 6 picks, it was more just, all right, let me see what I could do. I took Davis, the wide receiver, Texas A&M, put him as competing at slot corner. And then I was just like, whatever, let's just start picking players that I think could be good at depth. A.J. Dillon in the 5th round, I think I took him. Good. He's a good player, good running back, strong player. Picked him there. Why not double down on the running backs? A lot of you guys want to double down on quarterbacks. Why not? And then if you see, you're like, what are you doing here? It looks like a hodgepodge. I started going depth. I want depth on the offensive line. I want depth at corner. I want more depth on the defensive line. Get another wide receiver in there. My last 2 picks got an edge rusher, another tackle. So that's what I did there. Be sure to comment below. Let me know what you guys think of my final mock draft, what you guys think of my theory on 5, what you think of my theory on all the rest of the picks. I will go talk about what I think the Dolphins will do, give you guys my understanding of the Dolphins in Wednesday's video right before the draft. But be sure to comment below, and let's get to comment of the day. So this comment comes from Mike, and this is what Mike has to say. Doug, do you or anyone know if the players, coaches get paid if there's no season? That's a really good question, right? We don't know what's happening. We don't know how long what is happening is going to happen. We don't know if there's going to be an NFL season. We don't know if there's going to be a college season. We don't know a lot of anything. I'll talk more about that whole college season on Wednesday's video. But we don't know. So I said to him, I was like, that's a really good question, Mike. I'm going to have to look that up and find out. He did one for me, and he looked it up and he found it out. And essentially the base salary is like a yearly, is a gamely payment, right? So he made the point of saying if a player was set to earn $8 million salary this year and the NFL plays only 8 games with no bye week, meaning if the season's cut because of what's going on in the world, that player could earn only $3.765 million for the season, essentially 8 games out of the 17 games for his season. He says Major League Baseball negotiates a similar settlement with its players. They would receive a appropriate proportion for their salary based on the number of games. So it's a really, really, really good question, and then he helped me out by finding it. So if the NFL tends to cut the season down and all of a sudden they could start playing, but they're already like maybe 4 or 5 weeks in, a lot of these salaries are going to get cut down because they didn't play. So it was a very good question by Mike, and he helped me by finding. So if you guys are wondering, hey, if there's no season, are they going to get paid? It doesn't seem like it. They'll get their bonus, they'll get whatever else. But when it comes to game payments, when it comes to all that stuff, they won't. That's why a lot of players get upset if they get suspended or all that. Yes, they want to play, but also they want to get paid. So, Mike, thank you for that, and thank you for finding the answer for that. I really do appreciate that. But other than that, be sure to follow me on Twitter. I've been tweeting out a ton of things, talking about a ton of things. Just, it's where I can talk to you guys quicker and where I can just be stupid sometimes. So be sure to go over, check it out. Also, my second channel's up. A lot of you guys started subscribing. I'll pop it below. It'll be in the description below. My second channel's up. I put the intro video. I'm going to start putting some of my old videos on there, give you guys a little introduction to the old videos, tell you where it came from, and then we'll let you watch the old videos. And I'm going to start doing new stuff over there. So that's all linked below. Be sure to go over and check that out. Hit that subscribe button. It means a lot to me. A lot of you guys started doing it yet. I don't know where I'm at. Put it up like over the weekend, Saturday, and already got 30 subscribers. So if you guys go over DouglieDoWrong Studios, check it out. If you like the intro and you like what I'm doing, hit that subscribe button. It would mean the world to me. Don't feel like you need to, because if you don't like what I'm doing, don't feel like you need to subscribe. Give this video. Also, check out BitBoys. I'm going to skip the BitBoys. Be sure to check out BitBoys. That's my channel with my boys, my BitBoys gaming channel. Be sure to go over to check that out. Like I said, DouglieDoWrong is more of my media skits, my shorts, reviewing things, video games, movies, all that stuff. But also be sure to give this video a thumbs up. Guys, we have 2 more days. Tomorrow and Wednesday, and then draft time, baby. We've been waiting for this. Hopefully my draft hat comes. I ordered the draft hat. So hopefully it comes. I can wear it on Thursday. Draft is Thursday, 2 days. Wednesday, you're getting my Dolphin strategy video. Check that out. So give this video a thumbs up because you're excited. You like the stuff I talked about. You like my Wonderlic score for 41 and all that stuff. So be sure to give this video a thumbs up. Check out DolphinsTalk.com. Great site associated with great content over there. Also, hit the subscribe button. You don't hit the subscribe button, you don't hit the bell, you won't know that I'm live Thursday, 7:30 p.m. for the NFL draft. First round Miami, 3 first-round picks. I'm excited. So be sure to hit that subscribe button. Be sure to hit the button. Be sure to be here to hang out Thursday, 7:30 p.m. Also, check out the video that comes out Wednesday. But other than that, I'll see you guys Wednesday with my next video. But like usual, stay classy. Fins up.